Welcome everybody to the 2017 Week 4 Commissioner's Address for Drunken Fumble. We had some real football this week. In Week 1 there was 606 points scored. Week 2 was 643, and that was two more teams because Tampa Bay and Miami were playing. And in Week 3, with everybody playing, we had 799 points, which is fantastic. It finally wasn't a defensive game. The offenses were striking, and people were doing something. It was some good football. First matchup of the week here. Fourth and Lynches against Bassett's Brawlers. Fourth and Lynches, Casey, you'll come away with it. With a good outing, 150.82. That was the second highest score this week. Enough to put away Bassett's Brawlers, who came up with 128. That Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson hookup. Man, if Jordy Nelson can stay healthy, they're gonna keep doing it. They look good. The rest of Green Bay doesn't look good. Ty Montgomery's getting lots of targets, which I do like. But I'm hoping Green Bay shits the bed. But Devontae Parker from Miami did have a touchdown on 8 catches, which is a good day. Dalvin Cook from Minnesota, gotta love it. He had 97 rush yards and 72 reception yards to go along with a touchdown for 27.9 points. He had a great night. Marcus Mariota had a decent day. I mean, it was Seattle he was playing against, and these wide receiver troubles have continued to hinder him. Eric Decker's basically droppable in fantasy right now, and we figured he'd be big going there, but that was not the case. Tariq Cohen did actually have a good game, 14.2 points. That's really split duties there in Chicago, but they seem to be getting lots of points. Looking over at Spencer's side, Carson Palmer finally came to play. He did have 21.7 points. He's been struggling a bit this year, obviously, without David Johnson. Looking at the bench, there's some solid points there, but no big surprises. So in that matchup, Casey will be in third, and Spencer will be in ninth place. Moving on to Capper Goats against Rusty Pole. This was kind of like the inept battle of the week. Their running backs combined for 20 points-ish, all 4 of them. It was a special battle to watch, if you watched it. No real reason to. Jared Goff had 23 points. Rusty Pole coming away with the win here with 107 points. Capper Goats showed up with just shy of 88. So that's embarrassing. Next matchup. Flabby Gooch against Average Joe's. Average Joe's having a slightly above average day, at least for Average Joe's. 133 points, putting away AJ, who came up with 116. Chris Hogan from New England had 22 points. Devontae Freeman had 22 points, both in the loss. Average Joe's just had some good showings all around. Brandon Cooks had two touchdowns on 5 catches and 131, which I liked because I started Brady, because you have to start Brady. Speaking of guys you have to start, Rob Gronkowski, maybe? AJ, on your bench with 22.9 points. It's not quite as bad as Larry Fitzgerald on your bench, who had 13 catches for 149 and a touchdown, good enough for 33. Or maybe it was Sammy Watkins, who had 6 catches, 2 touchdowns, and 106 yards for 28 points, all on your bench. Man, you could have won by a lot. That sucks. Average Joe's in 11th place after that, and AJ in 8th. I don't know if I summed up the standings for the second matchup here, but Capper Goats is in 10th, and Rusty Pole is in 6th somehow. Next matchup, we got Jack and Goff against Vallette's Vengeance. It was the 0-2 team against the 2-0 team. Everybody wanted the underdog to win, and he lost. 142 to 125. Jack and Goff moves to a 3-0 team and in complete sole possession of first spot. And Vallette's Vengeance falls to 0-3, which puts him in 12th. He is the only 0-3er left in the league. Thank God. But he is in last spot despite having the 6th highest point total of the year, which sucks, Jesse, but lots of season left, lots of football, and Rob can only run away with it for so long, hopefully. Antonio Brown, man, he's been having a solid year. He had 10 catches for 110 and a touchdown. Demaryius Thomas and Golden Tate had solid games, so Jesse did have good turnout from his wide receivers. But his running backs combined for 2.5 points. Sproles didn't play very much, and then he got hit and broke his arm and tore an ACL at the same time. So he'll be retired, I would imagine. He said this was going to be his last year anyway. It's a lot of work for a 35-year-old to come back from an injury like that just to play one more season if he doesn't get injured again. So, fuck, I think he's done. Kirk Cousins had 26 points on the loss there. But Todd Gurley was it. Todd Gurley and Kareem Hunt again. They just stole the show. Todd Gurley had 3 combined touchdowns and a ton of yards, and he had a night. That was a really, really good game, and I missed it because, well, it was the Rams in San Fran. I mean, come on. But I did see the highlights, so I was happy to see that. Next matchup, waiver wire, coming away with a tight win here over Broken Johnson's 150 to 143. Waiver wire was projected for 126 points, so you gotta admire the man for trusting his gut over what everything else tells you. Eli Manning, 24 points. T.Y. Hilton, 28 points. Pierre Garçon, 21. Deshaun Kaiser, 25. Just a good turnout all over for waiver wire. A couple small scores there, but in small, insignificant spots, the kicker and the defense. But in the loss, Doug Baldwin did have 105 reception yards and 10 catches and a touchdown, which I liked because I started Russell Wilson. So they both had a big day. Michael Thomas did have 7 catches for 87 and a touchdown, so that might be his highest point total of the week. Of the season, by quite a bit. So he's kind of picking up there. He'll probably lose a bit of targets, as will Kobe Fleener and Alvin Kamara probably, with Willie Snead coming back this week, who I will be starting. So hopefully he's a big night. Anyway, waiver wire coming away with the win, moving them to 5th, and Broken Johnson's in 4th. Final matchup of the week. And arguably the matchup of the week, certainly on one half of the matchup. Greatest of all time taking on Fear Boners. Fear Boners had the 3rd highest score this week of 150.48. And greatest of all time had 199.24 points. That's right. Tom Brady, 35.7. Stephon Diggs, 37.3. Russell Wilson, 33.5. OBJ, 28. Need I go on? It just goes on and on and on. And I even started the wrong tight end, which I wanted to hit 200. Come on. I didn't hit 200. Anyway, I did come away with the win, moving me from 10th to 7th, which is one place out of a playoff spot, which is great. I do have the highest point total of the season to date. And I'm coming for you, Spencer. It's rivalry week here now. Week 4 is some big football going on. Looking at the power rankings, Shane's power rankings of the week. Jack and Goff still in number 1. He's 3-0. It's hard to argue with that. Fourth and Lynch is moving up to number 2. Congrats. He's got the 2-1 record there and been pretty consistent this year. Fearboner does move down to 3rd spot, and I think he's been the most regular pointage player. I don't think he fluctuates by more than about 5 points if you look at his week totals. And then in 4th, moving way up, I think I was 7th or 8th last week, greatest of all time with a 1-2 record. I'm ahead of 3 people that have a better record than me, and 4 more that have the same record as me. So I'm pretty happy going forward here. I'll post that online. I forgot last week, but Shane did do that for me, so that was great. Gonna go into the You're a bitch. The bitch of the week, if I can find the right matchup, is AJ. You just gotta get it, man. The people on your bench were so good. If you put them in, you would have beat anybody but me this week. But man, Rob Gronkowski, he was starting. How do you sit him for Hunter Henry, who had no touches of the football? He had 0 fucking points. Sammy Watkins, who in your position I may have sat as well. Everything that was coming out about him, he's 4th in targets on that team. Well, I think he read that same paper because he tore it up for 2 touchdowns on 6 catches on 106 yards. And then Larry Fitz, the ageless wonder. I don't know. Man, that guy does not get old. So anyway, you are the bitch of the week. And that brings me into the final segment. Was there any question? It's fucking me. 199.24 points. My team came to play. I'm projected for way more points this coming week because injured people played, backups came to play, and it was fantastic. 199.24 points. Tom Brady, 5 passing touchdowns. Stephon Diggs, 2 catching touchdowns. OBJ, 2 catching touchdowns. McCaffrey, 9 catches for 117 combined yards. Ty Montgomery didn't have a great day at 13 points, but you know what? It adds up. Russell Wilson, 373 yards. That's his highest point total game, yardage game to date, but he did have 4 passing touchdowns to go with it. It was good. So yeah, I am the Superman of the week, and I usually make sure that it's legit if I'm going to make myself the Superman of the week, because it seems like I should be Superman every week. But this was worth it. 199 points. I think I broke the season record so far by 35 points, which is significant. Anyway, I digress. Let's get to week 4. It is rivalry week. Let's hear some trash talk. I want to see your videos. I like to see some trades going on. That's good. I'm kind of thinking about making a few offers myself, so let's keep the action going. Peace. Commish out.